Hey guys, welcome back to Daisy Crochet, or welcome if you're new. If you are new, my name is Shae, and I own a crochet small business with my twin sister Fiona. Today I'm filming this on January 1st, so Happy New Year. I don't know when this is going to be posted, but Happy New Year. And I thought that today I would just sit down and do a little crochet and chat with me video. I don't even know what I'm gonna make, but I'm gonna make something. I'm a little bit angry because I got logged out of my Pinterest on my MacBook and I do not know my password. So technically I could like go through the whole changing your password process, which I might because I kind of need to use my Pinterest. But I might just make something up. I have a lot of project ideas, but I feel like I need to buy some yarn for those projects. Like I don't have specific colors I need and stuff because I don't have that much yarn right now. I haven't needed to buy any yarn because it's been the off season, not market season. So I think I'm going to do something with some of my faux fur. I was debating making a tutorial for my cow today. Let me know if you want to see a tutorial for that. If I did do a tutorial, it would probably be like me sitting down and filming it like this, just because doing tutorials like the way that we do them kind of like hurts my back a lot. Not that I don't want to do them anymore, I definitely do, but for a bigger project it would probably be easier for me to like show you guys like this. Okay guys, don't mind that white bag because that's what I currently have some of my yarn and my tools in, because I go back and forth from my house at school and my house here. So I did log back into my Pinterest and I was looking at stuff, but I only have my faux fur yarn up here, and I know that I have more yarn downstairs, but it's like not a lot because most of the colors I wanted to use for projects is actually at school and I forgot to bring it home. So I think I'm gonna start out by finishing this Christmas tree. I made this one day randomly at school when I had nothing to do. It's not Christmas anymore, so this is kind of a waste of time. But I want to finish this, so I'm gonna start out by just closing this up, and then I'm gonna figure out another project to do. I'm just gonna start by putting a bit of stuffing in it because that's what I'm doing. So I've been looking on Pinterest for like a faux fur project. Sorry if I like go in between saying fluffy and faux fur. I mean this faux fur yarn when I say that, but I also call like the chenille yarn fluffy, so it gets a little bit confusing. And there's honestly like kind of nothing. Like there's a few little ideas, but for the most part there's not a lot. So I think one of my goals this year will be to maybe make a few more faux fur yarn patterns for the world, so that if we buy faux fur yarn, there's lots of ideas of what we can make. Guys, I don't even know how to close this up, to be honest. There is a pattern for this tree, but it doesn't close up the project because you're meant to put like a styrofoam cone or something in the bottom to help it like stand up, but I don't really have access to those very easily, so I just stuff them and I found a way to close them up that works for me, so that's just what I do. Technically I could like do the math and decrease this properly, because you kind of want to like skip some rows of decrease so that the bottom isn't too like much material, but I really don't want to do math right now, so I might eyeball it and hope that it works out. So I will give you a little bit of a tip. What I'm doing right now is I'm just going around with single crochets, but I'm only going into the back loop. So if you want something to be flat on the bottom, this is a good way to make it flat. I did this with whales to make the bottom more flat so that it doesn't like round out and then make it harder for it to stand up. A lot of you probably know that, but if you don't, then now you do. I think I'm just gonna start decreasing in this row, but like just with 12 singles and then a decrease, because that's how many increases are in this round, if that makes sense. But yeah, I kind of didn't think about how I was gonna be talking and counting at the same time. I have made a few of these sort of type of videos before in the summer, but it's been a minute, so just bear with me. Typically I'm market prepping in these kind of videos, but today I don't have any future markets in the foreseeable future, so I am just making whatever calls my name today. I'm gonna lower the camera so that you guys can actually see what I'm doing, because I don't think you just want to stare at me while I'm actually crocheting. Okay, the camera might be a little shaky, but I did move it down. I am sitting on my bed, by the way. This is my workspace. Always has been, so just what I do. Oh, I got one of those like chair pillows for my bed for Christmas, and I should really be using that because this is probably not good for my back. So while I'm doing this, I want to talk to you guys about like some goals for this year that I have for like our crochet business, and like video ideas that I have and tutorial ideas that I have, and yeah, just like some plans that I have in the works. I'm a little bit upset because along with forgetting a lot of my good yarn at school, I also forgot my yearly like notebook that I do. I usually write down like a few goals for the new year, and I also will like check off like the goals that I made the year before to see what actually like happened. And I forgot that it's school. So I am not going to be making my goals until about a week from now when I go back, but that's okay. Although they're not being written down though, I do have some brewing in my head already. And yes, I could just write it in a different notebook, but I don't want to. So I obviously have like more like numbers goals for like my business and like even just here on YouTube, but I don't know, I don't think that that's like super interesting for you guys. I will say that like sadly it's unlikely that I do weekly markets again come the summer. We will see what happens. I am not opposed to anything yet, but last year I had initially like planned on doing a market every like 2 to 3 weeks in the summer, like from I think May to September when I moved out, and it ended up being pretty much every week. And not that that is a bad thing, but it was a lot more than I was expecting. And I think that if I was to do markets again, I would definitely stick to more of a strict schedule, which is hard because like if you say I'm gonna go every 3 weeks and then 1 week that you're planning to go, it's really rainy or something, you know, that might lose you a lot of money if you don't go the next week after that. I don't know. It's just like something I'm considering. And then another aspect of that is that I get off school in April this year, which usually I don't get off till July, but at the same time I'm doing summer school. At least that's my plan right now. So I'm still gonna be in school, but I'll be doing online. But that will still be pretty time consuming for me. I really don't have anything figured out yet. And then another aspect is that I probably should get like a real job if I'm being smart. I do make income like right now, but like it's not livable, just being real, especially because this year I lived in residence at my school, but like next year I won't be living in residence, so I'll have to pay rent. And where I go to school, rent is kind of an obscene price. Luckily, I've been saving for school for quite a long time. I started working when I was 11 doing this crochet, but I have had like real jobs as well, and I think it might be time to look into going back to that a little bit in this new year. It's not something I love doing, but I'm hoping to find something that really suits me and something that will work well with my lifestyle, because clearly I spend a lot of my time creating content and crocheting. I have a business and doing school, so we will see what happens with that, but that is something I'm kind of planning on figuring out this year. And then as for other like business related goals, I want to be posting a lot more on this YouTube channel. I'm really excited to like be doing it for like this whole year, because last year we started in May. We just found a video about like our YouTube journey so far and giving a little bit of like insight into like our monetization and stuff. I know that a lot of people probably aren't interested in watching that, which is totally fine, but we really enjoyed making it, and I also like it got me really excited for this year and to like see what will happen with our business this year. So yeah, I definitely want to learn how to balance school and my job a little bit better, because I have always loved working for myself and being accountable for my own, you know, success and everything. But it does become a lot more difficult when you feel like you have a lot less time, whether that be because of a different job or school or something. But I honestly like know that it's fully possible. It's just that I make a lot of excuses, and also I don't want to ever get burnt out. And sometimes I feel like I get burned out just from doing school. So then anything else outside of that that's like optional becomes a lot less likely to happen. But I'm gonna start treating this as a lot less of an optional thing, because a regular job is not optional, and that's something I've always tried to do, but it's easier said than done when you're very busy. So yeah, I want to be posting more, and then I also want to come out with a lot more patterns this year. I've never been hugely into or talented at designing patterns. I have designed a few patterns in my time crocheting, but I would say that my sister is definitely like much more of a pattern designer than I am. So that's definitely one of my goals, is like to get better at pattern design and to put more patterns out for you guys. And I also want to create them in both a video format and also written, because especially recently we've been getting a ton of requests to do written patterns, and I prefer tutorials, but like I know a lot of people do not. And actually, there's definitely a lot of benefits to written patterns that I prefer over tutorials. So we are definitely looking into making written patterns. I have a few ideas of what that's gonna look like, but we haven't started the process of actually putting that into action fully yet. So I'm thinking that's something I want to do in the near future with Fiona, to get those patterns out to you guys as soon as possible, because I think that would just be a really good addition to our business, and it would also really benefit those of you that prefer written patterns. I really hope I have enough stuffing in this bag, because this is just leftover stuffing from a project that I took apart, but I do have more downstairs. I just am kind of lazy and I don't want to go get it. And this is kind of off topic, but I seriously need to make an Amazon order. I have about 2 safety eyes left, and I also need a lot of like things for myself personally, and yeah, just a lot of stuff right now I need. But I don't really know if I should order anything right now, because one, I'm going to America tomorrow, which I'll go back to in a minute, because there's some crochet stuff I'm getting there, which is exciting for me. But also because I am going back to school in like about a week, so I don't know if it will come in time. So I don't really know which place to order it to, you know what I mean? But right now I feel like there's like a little bit of pressure to like create things that like I really need to make or want to make, because I have so few eyes. So I think making an order will like give me more freedom with my crochet. And then going back to my little trip to America, if you didn't know, me and Fiona are Canadian, and I love Canada, but there is a lot of things that you cannot get here that you can get in America. So we are doing a little bit of a trip tomorrow, and I have been really wanting to try out, what is it even called? Premier Parfait yarn. I feel like that's like the most popular yarn used for crochet projects, like plushies especially, and I have never tried it before. We just don't have access to it here. I think I could make a order on like the Premier website, but I never have before, because you need to buy a lot of stuff to get free shipping. So I've just wanted to like try out the yarn, you know, I don't want to buy like so much of it. So I decided to wait till we go to America and try and find some in store. I don't really know what stores to look for. I wish that I was posting this before we went, because I would ask you guys where to get it. But I think I'm gonna go to Joann's. We don't have Joann's here. And Hobby Lobby, I don't think they have it there. We also don't have Hobby Lobby's here though, so I'll check there. And then I might check at Michael's. We have Michael's here, but we do not have that kind of yarn. So I'm hoping to be able to find it, and I'm going to make like a better list today of like the specific colors I want to try and find, because I have a lot of plushies on my Pinterest that I really want to make with that yarn. Okay, so I'm just gonna like poorly move on from that. I'm not very good at transitioning to a different topic, but I'm just gonna like continue with my goals. So I think that although I'm not doing as many markets this year probably as I did last year, I want to focus on bringing a lot of stock to my markets. I found that with weekly markets, even if I start market prepping months before my markets start, it's really hard once a lot of things have sold to keep up and produce a lot of stock. A lot of times during the summer I would actually like almost sell out, and I would still only be making like a couple $100, because that's all the stock I had managed to make within a week's time. I would also then be fully out of stock, so I would have to spend the whole week making more, which I totally don't mind doing. Like, it's definitely my job. But I think I'm definitely gonna like try out doing fewer markets with more stock this year and see how that goes. I don't know why this is like a goal that I really want to accomplish. I have done this before, but I really want to do a indoor market this year. My weekly market in the summer is outdoor, which I do like. for a lot of reasons, but I have also done indoor markets in the winter time and I really love them. They're just like a good vibe, you know, and I watch a lot of creators who do indoor markets. I think they live in like bigger places than I do. I live in a small town, so there's not a lot of opportunity to do that throughout the year, but if I can, I definitely want to experience an indoor market again this year. I wasn't able to do any Christmas or holiday markets last year because I was in school up until Christmas break, and then all of the markets had already finished by then, but that's just something that I kind of want to do for no particular reason other than I like indoor markets. I think they're really fun and different. So I'm really hoping that's something I can accomplish this year, even with like my busier school schedule and everything like that. Okay guys, I think I am going to stop recording for just a minute. My tree is almost closed up now, and then I will come back to you once this is finished and we will decide on a new project to make. Okay, I just finished crocheting up the bottom of my tree. I'm gonna show you guys a little tip on how, oh my god, to close these, especially because I didn't really have enough stuffing for it. I really need to get more. I'm going to go get more now because I'm gonna make a new project and I need more, obviously. But I'm gonna show you guys like how you can make this even more like flat on the bottom. So I will put that extra yarn through on my little darning needle, and I'm just going to weave it all the way up to the top of the tree. Don't like go directly up the middle because it will be hard to pull it all the way out with all the stuffing in there, but I'm just going up along the side, and once I reach the top, I'm just gonna pull on the yarn a little bit and I'll show you what it does to the bottom. I did this on my trees that I actually sewed up incorrectly, so there was a lot of extra material on the bottom. So I just have the yarn at the very top now, and I'm just gonna pull it like a little bit, not anything insane, but it kind of creates like a bit of like a hole, not like a hole, but like a dip in the bottom, and this helps to make sure that the middle part of the bottom doesn't protrude out at all, so it will stay up really flat. I'm just gonna cut off this extra yarn now, and I have been keeping all my yarn scraps. I'm hoping to use them to stuff a project at some point. This is one bag that I've been keeping, but I have one at school that's much bigger and fuller. This is just extra like faux fur and scraps that I've had since being at home. But yeah, I think that's a really cool idea and something that I've definitely been trying to do to reduce waste, and also I'm really excited to see how it stuffs a project eventually once I have enough. So here's my finished tree. Not too exciting for the start of this video because it is no longer Christmas time, but this is still really cute. This is one of the bigger ones that I've made, I think. I have a big collection that was in my basement, and then I also have some that I think are still at school that I probably should take down now, but yeah, I will definitely be using this one as a decoration next year, or maybe even selling it, so it's great to have this. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick trip down to my basement and I'm going to get more stuffing, and I think I'm gonna get new yarn too. So I think I might take you guys with me downstairs just to show you like what my yarn collection is looking like right now, and we'll decide on a new project. Okay guys, apologies for the lighting, it's a little insane, but I've secured my stuffing. I'm just gonna show you guys what I have for yarn right now. It's kind of all over the place. Okay, here's the first little station thing. There's like cotton in here. I probably won't make anything with this right now. And then I have a bunch of like tools here. I also have pom-poms that I've never used. And then this is mostly acrylic yarn in here. There's a lot of different random colors. I really have never found a use for a lot of this stuff. Some of it has been in here for probably 7 years at this point, but yeah. And yeah, you can see that there's some like thicker stuff in here that I used to make my trees, and then also some thinner stuff. Although acrylic yarn isn't mine or most people's like preferred yarn type for making plushies, I do want to make some more plushies with acrylic yarn just because I have so much of it, and also I think they can be really cute depending on the pattern that you use. So that will definitely be something for me to consider once market season becomes a little bit closer. I'm just gonna show you guys another one of my little displays, and then I'm gonna get my fluffy and velvet yarn out to show you. I don't really know why I said display. It's just an organizer, but this is some more yarn that I have in bulk. Okay guys, I have bad news. I just went to get my yarn and it is underneath my Christmas tree. That white container down there is my yarn. So it looks like I'm not gonna be getting it out quite yet. Maybe I'll ask my mom when she comes home, but I don't think I can do it on my own. That's pretty disappointing. So close yet so far. I guess that will have to wait till later. Well guys, I'm kind of disappointed. So I can't get to any of my yarn. I'm going to ask my mom to help me get it out when she gets home, but I only really have time to film right now and crochet right now. So I think I might just start something else out and I will show you guys once it's finished, because I probably won't finish it in this video. And then if I do get my yarn out, then maybe I will come back to this video in a couple days and I will make something with that yarn for you guys. Okay, since my plans have to change a little bit, this is not the hook I wanted to use. I do think I'm going to make an owl because I did want to make one. I just didn't really have a reason to, but I'm sure that someone will love to get this as a gift, or maybe I'll just gift it to myself or even save it for markets, because I've been really curious about how these faux fur animals would sell at markets. So maybe I'll just save it and then we can do a little experiment when market season comes to see how these guys sell. I think that selling this type of animal would actually be really interesting, because obviously I love how popular crochet has become over the past couple of years. However, selling at markets looks a lot different than it used to. I guess like 7 years ago when I started. The only reason for that is when I used to go to markets, I was always the only person selling crochet. I never did plushies until a couple years ago, but even just crochet, no one else would be selling it at all. And now when I go to markets, there's at least one other person, but usually 2 or 3 at least other people selling crochet. And again, I love that it has become so popular, but at the same time, it's my business. So I do have to find ways to differentiate myself so that my products will sell as well as they used to. So I do think that selling these faux fur animals and products would be a great way to have a little bit of a competitive advantage. And I also just think it would be really interesting, because I know that the people who I've showed these to like so far, they have been kind of confused when I've told them it's crochet, because they don't really look crocheted. Like, I don't blame people, but I just think it would be really interesting to be like, yeah, these are crocheted too, you know, and see how people like responded to them. I do need to count a little bit on this project, even though I'm not.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yay, I have the right number. So I guess while I'm using this type of yarn, I could give you guys a few tips on what makes it easier, and like just like my little tricks that I found while crocheting with it. I've only been using this yarn for a few months, but it is a little bit different than like your typical yarn, just because there's a lot more stuff going on, and it makes it harder to see your stitches and stuff like that. So I will let you guys know like some things that I've found that makes it a little bit easier. One is that stitch markers are, like, I would say more important than they typically would be. I always use stitch markers, obviously, but I know like there are times where I can eyeball stuff if it's like a really small project. Like if I was using a different kind of yarn for this small of a project, I honestly might not use a stitch marker all the time if I was paying really close attention to it and counting and stuff. But in this, it's like kind of essential to make sure that you know where your stitches are. My best way of like counting my stitches is by feeling them. Once you get used to like crocheting a lot more, you can kind of figure out what a stitch feels like, and it makes it a lot easier because you really cannot see them like at all. I did think that this yarn was going to be more difficult than I found it to be. It might be because I have like a lot of years of experience, but honestly I think it's just, I feel like it's manageable with the projects that I use it for. I use it for a lot more smaller projects, so it requires less intense counting, because usually when I crochet I don't just want to be sitting and crocheting. Like I like to watch a show or like talk to you guys, so it's helpful to do like smaller projects with this, although you can definitely do bigger projects. I have done bigger projects. One of my bigger projects unfortunately did kind of fail, just because I didn't have enough yarn to finish it, but also because it wasn't really just turning out the way I wanted. I did film the whole process of making it, which is funny because I never ended up posting it. It was just kind of an all over the place video. I changed the size of the project a lot, and it still didn't turn out to be the size that I wanted. The specific one type of faux fur yarn that I bought is very, very thick. It is actually 3 strands all put together. So I did not know that initially when I started making a project with it, so it turned out very big. This is like a part of one of the projects that I had started making. It's actually a cow head. I didn't do any of the details of the ears, obviously. I think it's cute, but I did not have enough yarn to finish it, and I wanted to use my faux fur yarn for something else. So I've definitely preferred making like smaller things with it just so I can get the most out of it. I will keep my eye out tomorrow though for some new colors, because I definitely have a lot of neutral colors in this right now. I have a speckled black and white, I have that beige I just showed you, and then I have this white, but it would be pretty cool to make some more colorful projects as well, I think. As well as finding this type of yarn in America, I've also found it at Dollarama where I live, which is really cool, and I think it would kind of be more ideal to purchase it there, one because it's where I live, and two, it is probably a lot cheaper since it's at the dollar store. So I'll definitely keep my eyes out. They don't have it all the time there, but a lot of the times they do have it, which I think is really cool. So I'm on my last row of, like, I never know how to say it, but I always say no increasing or decreasing. It's just like regular crocheting in the round. So I'm gonna show you guys another tip as I work to close this up. Just let me add the eyes and then I'll be back. Guys, this crocheting session is not going the way that I wanted it to. I only have one 12mm eye. So luckily my sister did have a lot more eyes than me. So I found some that probably will work. I'm guessing these are like 14mm or 16. I don't think they're 16, but they're definitely a size up, which is maybe gonna look a little bit wonky on this project, but I'm sure I will be able to make it work. I am going to attach these now, but what I wanted to tell you, I'm just going to tell you as I'm adding in the eyes, is that with these projects, I find that flipping them inside out, like the opposite way that you usually would for projects, is it makes it look a lot better. I find that the fur is a lot more like fluffy on one side than the other. It should be pretty obvious to you guys when working with it that like the one side you can see like the string part a lot more, and the other side is a lot more fluffy. Oh, this looks kind of cute even though the eyes are really big. So my tip is to flip it inside out the opposite way that you normally would. It gets a little bit more like annoying just because the tail of your magic ring is usually on the side that is like supposed to be on the inside, but flipping it inside out makes the string come out, so I just pull it right through to the other side and that eliminates that problem. But then also, like, I'm about to do a decrease round to close this head up, and I have to kind of crochet in a kind of uncomfortable way just so that it closes up properly. I'll show you guys what I mean in a second. So instead of crocheting around like on the outside, I'm actually gonna have to work on the inside, and I'm gonna have to place my decreases like in a kind of awkward way, especially as I get closer to the end. It gets a little bit difficult, but it's totally like manageable. It's just a little bit annoying. And I can't forget to add stuffing to the head. I also should probably look for some of this stuffing tomorrow. This is the polyfill. You can get polyfill at Michael's in Canada, but it is crazy how much more expensive it is compared to in America. I think I got this for under $3, and that is really unheard of here. Like, it'd probably be at least 20 for this amount, so it's really great to pick that up in America. So I'll definitely keep my eyes out for some more stuffing as well. Okay guys, I'm gonna finish up this head and then I will come back. Okay guys, I finished the head. It's actually kind of cute. I haven't trimmed around the eyes yet, which is something I always do with these faux fur projects to make sure the eyes are more defined, but these ones are bigger, so I probably won't have to trim as much, which is actually kind of good. I actually like the way these eyes look, but I'm still definitely gonna need to buy 12mm. I think I'm gonna take a little break and have lunch, but then hopefully I'll be able to come back and get some more of this project done. And I dropped it on the floor. Good news, guys. I secured the yarn. Here's all of my fluffy and velvet yarn. Kind of a mess, as you can see. Don't have a lot of it, as you can see. There's some random projects in here, as you can see. but it's better than nothing. I do have some at school as well, but not very much. So I look forward to seeing if there's anything cool I can make with this stuff. Hey guys, so I bet that the quality of this video has changed a lot since the last time I was on here. As did my appearance because I just woke up. But I wanted to come on here because it's been a few days and I wanted to give you guys an update. So I think I'm gonna abandon temporarily the owl just because I have something more exciting that I haven't made before that I want to show you guys, and I want to show you guys before it's done because I'm still working on it right now, but I might be able to get it done today. So if I do, I will show you guys the finished product. So a few days ago I went to America and I got some new yarn to try out. I got 3 balls. I will show you the 2 colors that I'm using for this project. I had a little video of them from when I first opened them, and then I will also insert a clip of the other yarn I got. I'm not probably going to be using it in this video, but I wanted to show you guys. I think it's really cool. It's from Juicy Couture. I really wanted to try out the new, like, really popular, I don't even remember what the brand is called, but I'll show you on the wrapping of these skeins. I always call them balls, but I'll say skeins. I wanted to try the thinner chenille from this brand, but I could not find it until I went to like my 3rd Joann's, and by the time I went there I had already bought all of this stuff, so I didn't really want to spend any more money. But I still want to try that stuff, and I was also looking for the Premier Parfait, and I went to Joann's and at like multiple different places and none of them had them. So if you know where to get that, can you let me know, because I really want to try that yarn. So instead I just bought the brand that I was looking for, but the thicker chenille. It's very similar to like Bernat Blanket. I would say it's a little softer maybe than Bernat Blanket, and they just had really cool colors and it was way cheaper than what I can get here. So I decided to get a couple of colors and I'm making something really cool. I bought my first ever pattern. I've never bought a pattern before. I've been crocheting for I think 8 years, but there's a first time for everything, right? Because I could not find any free patterns that I liked and I wanted it to turn out really well. So I'm going to show you guys the progress of what I'm making now, and I'll show you the finished product when I'm done. Okay, here is what I'm making. It's a dragon, if you could not tell. So yeah, I started out with the body in like this sage color. I love this color. And then I did all the details with white. It's kind of like an off-white. So I did the ears, and then these wings were really fun to make because you got to do like the details with the green, and then the white tail as well. And now I'm just working on the white spikes. I have to make 2 more of these, but I just started out this morning making these. And then I have to do the 4 feet. And I'm really hoping I have enough yarn. My yarn looks kind of sad right now. But I did read some reviews and they said that you could get a whole dragon out of just this yarn. So I'm hoping I will be able to. And I will link the pattern that I'm using. It is on Etsy for, I think I got it Canadian, just over $7. So it's not bad at all. It's definitely meant to make like a smaller dragon with like a different kind of yarn, but I wanted to make it like big and fluffy. I did use, oh, my hook got caught in my blanket. I did use a 6.5 hook, and usually I would use an 8mm with this yarn, but I wanted it to be slightly tighter and smaller just because I already knew it was going to be way bigger than the pattern, and also because I really wanted to have enough yarn, because if I run out of yarn I can't finish the project until I go back to America, which could be multiple years, but probably months before I could finish it, which would suck. So I'm really hoping I have enough for these feet. But anyways, I am going to work on this for a little bit and then I'll get back to you guys. I also remembered that I had to do the eyes and maybe blush. I might not do blush, but we'll see. Okay guys, little update. I finished the spikes and I sewed them on. Don't mind the little strings everywhere. I just haven't cut them yet, but I think it looks pretty cute. Now I'm gonna do the legs and the eyes and the blush and the finishing touches, and then it will be done. I'm really excited for it to be done. Hey guys, apologies for the background noise and also my shaky hand. I've been doing a lot of sewing. It's a little bit really bad though, so sorry about that, but I wanted to show you my finished product. I've been working on this for kind of a long time, but I'm so excited that it's done. I didn't add the blush, but like let me know if you think it would look good with pink blush. I don't know. So here he is. I don't know how to show it. Here, I'll show you with like my back camera, but it's so cute. I love it. It's really big. I love the ears. This was like actually so fun, and usually I will like not like patterns that have a lot of sewing, but the sewing was not that bad at all, like because it was always different things, so it was like just like exciting to get more and more of it done. Do you guys think it should have pink cheeks? I don't know, the placement of it is a little weird to me, like it'd be right here. I don't know. Also, these colors, I'm obsessed. I want my room to be like this kind of color next year, and it already kind of is this year, like not here at school. So I think this is gonna match perfectly. I'm so excited to put it in there. Okay, here's the back camera view. Obsessed. Hey guys, so I'm back at school now. I brought my dragon. I'm obsessed with him. He does match really good with my room here. And I just noticed I'm wearing the same shirt as I was wearing in those other clips, even though it's been like over a week since I filmed that. Anyways, that's gonna be it for today's video. It was a little bit chaotic, but the final product of it, I think, is pretty cool. I will definitely link all the patterns I use in this video in the description box, so if you want to make any of these, then that's where they'll be. Me and Fiona are going to be making a Q&A soon, so if you have any questions for that, then just put them in the comments and we'll answer them for you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and don't forget to like it if you liked it and subscribe to see more videos like this. Guys, we're almost at 2,000 subscribers. I'm really excited. I hope you guys are having a great January or whenever you're watching this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.